The biggest problem with hurricanes is that if it takes a long time to drill the kill wells, it could slow them down. And again, because they're in an already unfortunate situation, and they know there's some pressure down there that may have surprised them, they're going to be really careful while they're drilling this. And you know, if it takes 9 months, you know, every hurricane that comes through could cause another month to be added to that deadline, or even 2 weeks. You know, it would be at least a week, you know, delay just to have a hurricane come through, but it could be as much as a month. And the biggest fear, I would think, for the oil and impact of a hurricane would actually be would be from the storm surge again, because it would push a lot of that oil onto shore, and maybe places farther onshore than you would want to see that pollution to get. The crews that are out there are highly experienced, and you know, basically, you know, whenever somebody's out on a rig, they're essentially putting their life on the line every day to bring oil and gas, you know, to the shore for everybody. And I don't think a lot of people realize that it is very dangerous. And in spite of the danger, the oil business has had an incredibly good track record. I mean, the rig that has exploded has drilled quite a number of large and deep wells in the Gulf of Mexico and other places without any kind of accident at all. You know, it's hard getting oil and gas out of the ground, and some people will say that that's the reason not to do it. And unfortunately, what we're stuck with is that we have a country that uses a lot of energy, and oil and gas, hydrocarbons, or petroleum are going to be here for at least another 50 years and play a major role in supplying a lot of that energy, mainly because it's relatively inexpensive. I do think all of the alternate sources are great ideas and ways to supplement things, but a lot of technology still needs to be improved because the cost is very high. Wind turbines produce a limited amount of power, but they cost an awful lot of money to build and maintain. If everyone has an electric car, we're going to need a lot more copper than we're already producing in the world. We're going to need a lot more of these metals, nickel and cadmium, and other things that we're using. And of course, they're trying to get better metals that are less dangerous for the environment. But what many people don't realize is there's a high probability that we'll have severe shortages of these metals. And if anyone's ever seen a copper mine, they're not exactly environmentally friendly. And so there can be worse dangers. I mean, the CO2 issue and global warming is a critical issue, but we have to be careful we don't decide a priori that CO2 is the only harmful thing on the planet, and that we can do anything we want to do to try to get rid of the CO2 and overlook the fact that it's still a very inexpensive, and if we use natural gas, it's a relatively clean fuel source.